Okay, so this is the story about the strangest birthday I've ever had. For context, I'm from Germany, and the legal age to drink here is 16, for beer and wine, etc., and 18, for liquors, etc. So on the day I turned 18, me and my best friend decided to go out to our nearest city to grab some drinks at a local bar that is quite popular, but since it was a Tuesday night on school summer break, there weren't that much people around, so we just enjoyed spending time together, meanwhile sipping some margaritas. All of a sudden, the waitress, who I actually kind of know because she previously graduated from the school I went to, comes up to us saying 2 men want to buy us a drink, pointing at the table at the other end of the outdoor section. At the time, it was around 10 p.m., and even though it was midsummer, it started to get dark, so we didn't really see what the guys looked like at first. We just thought, yeah, fuck it. Why not? And went over to thank them. At the time, I recognized that they were a younger looking guy, in his early to mid 20s max, and a middle-aged man that was obviously already intoxicated. The younger guy, let's call him Tom, asked us to take a seat, and since he seemed like a nice guy that wanted to chat, we agreed. So as we were talking, getting to know each other a bit, I noticed the older guy intensely staring at me, like he didn't even blink. I looked at him as I noticed him, and it was then when he said, "How old are you? You're so beautiful. Do you even know how beautiful you are?" I told him I just turned 18, laughed it off, clearly being uncomfortable, and thanked him for the compliment, since I knew he was clearly drunk and tried to change the topic. As we were talking about life in general, Tom tells us that the older guy is actually his neighbor who is currently going through a divorce, and so he wanted to distract him with a night out. We thought it was sweet of him to help this guy going through a hard time. Then he mentioned his neighbor is an architect, encouraging him to maybe talk about his interesting profession rather than creeping on a freshly 18-year-old. Because at this point he was constantly interrupting our conversation to tell me kind of inappropriate things like how sexy and special he thought I was. Then the conversation turned dark real quick. The guy started to talk about how he doesn't seem to have any sense of life anymore, and that he wanted to kill himself. I also struggled with a lot of depression since I was a child, so I wasn't super freaked out. I was more like feeling sad for the guy, and tried to calm him a little bit, while texting my best friend that was just seated next to me, on how we can maybe get out of that situation. But then he said, "I can't. I just want to end it. I have a knife on me right now. I'm going to do it right now," threatening his life, kind of begging us to tell him a reason to not just fucking commit suicide right in front of us. Tom at this point just started to apologize, and to calm him down didn't really work. I mean, I felt sad for the guy, but we just met him maybe 1.5 hours ago, and you never know what an intoxicated man that claims he has nothing to lose, that also carries a knife on him, is capable of. Me and my best friend, being scared now, come up with a plan over text to fake a call from some male friend of ours who wanted to meet up. So she changed my name in her phone quickly to the guy's name, and so I called her while hiding my phone in my pocket of my vest. And let me tell you, this bitch performed the most realistic fake phone call I've ever witnessed. So good actually that for a moment I was like, wait, is she really calling me, or did she find a friend to call her? At that point, the man just begging us not to go, making us even more uncomfortable. But we just apologized ourselves, and as we were about to leave, Tom asked me for my number. I wanted to leave quickly, so I gave him my number, which he called immediately to make sure it was legit, of course, but blocked him right after he texted me. If you ever read this, Tom, I'm sorry. You really seem like a sweet dude, but this night was just not it, chief. Me and my best friend still kind of joke about it till this day, how quickly 0 to 100 it went that night, and how we were definitely not prepared for this. Nothing happened to us that night, but it was very frightening nonetheless. Stay safe, ladies and gentlemen, because even though nothing happened to us in particular, you never know what people are capable of.